hands in front of him at his waist, like a penitent. Nick said nothing for a long moment. The deputy seemed content to wait. A blue jay gave a harsh cry from a nearby pine. Finally, Nick turned to the house. "In that case, I'll make tea." Inside, Nick's cabin wasn't terribly unlike any other cabin built by newcomers. A small foyer off the front door, a dining room opening on the right, a hall bathroom, and then a bedroom to the left. Passing through the foyer to the back of the house, Nick and Sam's entered a great room that included a den, breakfast table, and kitchen. A set of stairs against the central wall shared with the dining room led up to storage and a guest bedroom. A stone fireplace rose in the middle of the back wall. Behind that was a porch that stretched the length of the house and looked out at the lake. The house was clean and well-maintained, but somewhat plain. The only personal touches were a crimson and blue oriental carpet in the den, a little tin statue of a knight on horseback on the fireplace mantel, and the books in piles on side tables, stacked on the floor next to the sofa, lined on a low bookshelf backed against the stairs, displaying their spines. These weren't thrillers or coffee table picture books, but hardcovers or trade paperback tomes. The Canterbury Tales, The Civilization of the Middle Ages, A Distant Mirror, scholarly books, appropriate for a college professor of medieval studies. Aside from the books, the cabin almost looked like it could belong to a family from Atlanta or Charlotte, driving up here in their SUV. Kids tumbling through the rooms, maybe a dog. Almost, but not quite. It wasn't because of the books, or how Spartan the decor was. The furniture functional rather than elegant. The walls mostly bare of paintings or pictures. It had more to do with how quiet and still the cabin seemed, as if by simply walking into it, Nick and Sam's had disturbed something. In his kitchen, a long island between him and the deputy, Nick saw the man taking in the house, then looking through an entryway into Nick's office, tucked into the back corner of the cabin. Several more books on built-in shelves lined the walls. Sitting on a desk in the office was a photograph of a woman, fair-haired and smiling at the camera, a happy moment captured. Nick could tell by the deputy's expression that the man recognized the woman in the picture. Nick filled a tea kettle with tap water and put it on the stovetop, then rattled some mugs in a cabinet. "You like sugar, Deputy Sams? Honey?" "Honey and lemon, if you have them," Sam said. "Lemon's in the fridge," Nick said. "Fruit drawer, one down." Sams dutifully walked over and opened the fridge, darting another glance at the photograph on the office desk. The inside of the fridge was about as spare as the cabin. A carton of milk, a package of ground beef, a half-empty jar of marinara, a stick of butter, ketchup, and mustard in the fridge door. Sams dug around in the fruit drawer, found a lemon that wasn't yet soft. Nick placed a jar of honey on the counter next to a pair of mugs, a paper tag from a tea bag trailing from each. "Got a knife?" Sam said, holding up the lemon. With a nod, Nick indicated a block of knives next to the sink. Sams pulled a paring knife out of the wooden block and, with a clean cutting board, chunked the lemon into wedges. The countertop was wood, but the sink was a massive thing that looked like it had been carved out of a block of dark gray stone. "Soapstone," Nick said. "What?" "The sink. My wife liked soapstone, so we put in a farmhouse sink. Took 4 guys just to carry it into the house." "Well," Sam said, wiping his lemony hands on a dish towel. "Happy wife, happy life." As soon as he had spoken the words, he froze, his face blooming with shame. "I'm sorry," he said. "That was thoughtless." Nick shook his head. "No worries," he said. "And the saying is true, generally." They looked at one another for a moment, the silence broken by the tea kettle's whistle. When they had finished preparing their mugs of tea, Nick led Sams to the breakfast table and sat at one end, his back to the office area. Sam sat next to him, facing the window that looked out on the lake. Beyond, Whiteside Mountain rose into a blue sky, a tiered shelf of stone cliffs. "Beautiful view," Sam said. He sipped from his mug. "Thank you for the tea." Nick's mug sat to one side, untouched. "What can I do for you?" he asked. Sams nodded as if Nick had brought up a difficult point. "I'm afraid I'm the bearer of bad news," he said. "I would have called first,